After the cataclysmic events of the Loki finale, Marvel is not leaving us hanging for too long as they deliver their first ever animated series, and we get a deep dive into the chaotic multiverse. This is my review of the first 3 episodes of What If? Flipping the script on the MCU and reimagining famous events from the films in unexpected ways, the first animated series from Marvel Studios focuses on different heroes from the MCU, featuring a voice cast that includes a host of stars reprising their roles. Exploring pivotal moments from the MCU's history and turning them on their heads, leading us into uncharted territories. Now, this review will be completely spoiler-free, no details, nothing specific about these episodes, as you guys deserve to dive into them as blind as I did. And I want to thank the team at Disney UK for allowing me a chance to see the first 3 episodes so I could share this review with you guys. I have always been very excited for this show. I've always been very excited that it was animation. It's a new kind of territory for the MCU, and I've always loved these kind of stories in the comics. They got Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, who is tremendous in this role, as our kind of guide through these incredibly interesting new stories and timelines. But before I dive any deeper, let me know your thoughts on What If you're excited for it, if you've also got a chance to have seen it, and what stories would you like to see in the show? Let me know all that in the comments below. Start the conversation. It's the most important part. And while you're down there, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Why don't you consider clicking the subscribe button? It does wonders to get my content out there. You'll join a beautiful film fan community and always be aware of whenever there's more great content. This is the most experimental Marvel has ever been with any of their stuff that they put out there. It's extremely unique, extremely different, yet familiar at the same time. They take the familiar bases, the familiar principles and premises from the stories that we've seen and do the most creative things possible with them. This is Marvel's response to the Twilight Zone. There's an extremely eerie feeling as we dive into these new timelines and see how things have changed, which is purposefully, I feel, off-putting at first. You start seeing these events unfold so different, you're like, no, this is not what's supposed to happen, and I think that's precisely the effect they are going for. Without giving anything away, the first episode is Captain Carter's episode. The posters are out there, it's very public what the first episode is about. The second episode is T'Challa Star-Lord, and all I'll say about the third episode is that the main character is Nick Fury. Now, there's a disclaimer I need to say with this, and shout out to my friend Dave Lee Down Under for pointing this out. He also got a chance to see these episodes. They might be out of order, episodes 2 and 3 specifically, so whatever I describe about episode 2, I'm talking about the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, and then the third episode is where Nick Fury is the main character. I'm not sure how they're gonna come out, but just in case they come out in a different order than when I got them, you're now aware of that. Captain Carter is a really fun first episode, and I feel it's a really good first episode because it just changes a little bit about the original story that we know without being wildly different. And I think that's a great first step to take. I love the little changes in this episode. I love Haley Atwell as Captain Carter. I'm so glad that she is back in this. I love the animation. I know the animation has been contentious, to say the least. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love the animation in the trailers, and it looks even better on the show itself. So I'm not sure if you hate the animation, if it's going to convince you, but I, for one, think it looks great. The movements of the characters and of the quote-unquote camera panning around are very, very fluid. Clearly, they put a lot of money into this animation, and it clearly shows. I love the coloring in this, and I also love that they're taking full advantage of everything here being animation. They could go wild with this. They could do things that they can't possibly do in live action. There's really good moments of slapstick. There's incredible action, which is just amazing. Very different action there from what we've seen in the MCU thus far, obviously, because it's just a different medium of audiovisual storytelling. And these episodes, one after the other, kept on surprising me because they're half-hour long, but they increment so much character into them. The characters are so well realized in all of these episodes. My favorite episode is episode 2, episode of T'Challa Star-Lord. Not gonna dive into anything. It's the wildest episode out of the 3. The things you see in this episode put a stupid smile on my face and made me long for more of whatever this one timeline is, because I love how creative they were with it. I love how wild they were with how creative they were. And episode 3 is very much a detective story led by Nick Fury. There's a really clear horror vibe to it all, and for the most part you're not really sure where they're going with this story, as it takes place over several MCU movies and they do something really interesting with it structurally. But honestly, all these 3 episodes, all of them set in different timelines, I think it's so engaging what they do. It's so creative and so fresh. It leaves you wanting more from all of these stories. It leaves you wanting to see a continuation and see whatever else has changed in these timelines. And I think Marvel has taken a big gamble on this, and for me so far it is very much paying off. And I cannot fail to mention how much I really do love Jeffrey Wright's presence as the Watcher. He's very little on screen, but there's a constant reminder throughout these episodes that he is watching, that he is guiding us through it. And I think it's teasing a bigger presence as the seasons go on and as the episodes continue, and how maybe they'll connect in the future. I find that really, really interesting. All these sci-fi fantasy elements coming together and tackling all these different genres in just these 3 episodes. I think it's just a great start that clearly shows the audience, hey, this is different. Week to week, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's like a Kinder Surprise, but just Marvel goodness. I love it. What If is a plethora of exhilarating animated adventures. Easily exceeded my expectation, calls back to so many interesting stories in sci-fi, and brings the possibilities of what the future of the MCU can hold to entirely new levels. If I am to rank all the episodes, I'd go with T'Challa Star-Lord first, then the Nick Fury episode, and Captain Carter at the bottom, but I like them all. I think they're at least very, very good, but episode 2 is just incredible in every regard. My favorite right now, and I cannot wait to see if in this season they top it. I cannot congratulate Marvel enough on this incredibly interesting endeavor that they set themselves out to do, and so far it's really, really paying off. This show, much like its promises, has infinite possibilities. And so those are my thoughts on Marvel Studios' What If, the first 3 episodes, spoiler free. We will do spoiler reviews every week for this show, so I hope you stay tuned for tomorrow when the first one comes out on Disney Plus, and you let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much once again to the team at Disney UK for sharing the screeners with me. I had a wonderful time checking these episodes out, and I cannot wait for more and for us all to talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Stay tuned for many more reviews to come. And if you're still watching but still haven't subscribed, remember to click that button, because if you're still watching, you enjoyed it on some level. Thank you so much once more. I'll be back very soon with more reviews. And so until then, love each other and love the movies.